one more time with the soil sampling. I'm seeing some amazing things happen so far. I think my heroes would be happy. Gabe Brown, Dave Brandt, Ray Archuleta, and all the other soil health conservatives, gurus, however you want to call them. I believe they would be happy. I mean, this soil right here was strictly sand, but now the top, let's see, the top 1.5 inches, 2 inches, it's changing color, it's getting darker. And this field from there to there, that's all cover crops. Same with this one. And it's crazy. It's changing colors. Look at that. A little shift, I guess, from here, and that's strictly soil or sand. And you can see the transition. So, yeah, I was just experimenting. This is the second year with cover crops. No, actually third year. When did I set this up? Yeah, I think it's my third year with cover crops. And when I first started, this was ridiculously just sand. And now there's a little transition going. I'm happy. I'm amazed with the results, and with the soil sample, soil test, we'll see what the results say, you know. That's the only thing I can pretty much base it on. And also just looking at it, it's amazing. In a couple years, 3-4 years from now, we'll probably have tons of earthworms in here, and that's when the magic will happen, you know. That's all I'm waiting for. Slow and steady. Just be patient, whatever you're doing. However you're doing your soil, no need for chemical fertilizers. The first year I did do ammonium sulfate to up my nitrogen. Actually, the second year I did that. The first year was just all straw. The second year I did because the corn depleted all the nitrogen. And the second year I did do ammonium sulfate, and that re-upped my nitrogen so quickly. It was ridiculous. But last year I didn't really amend anything. I just scattered wood ash on all my little fills, and we'll see what the magnesium level is, and we'll see what that improved. I know there's some that's still up there on the top layer, but I'm getting more and more curious, you know. This is what makes gardening fun, improving the soil. And even here in the high plains of Arizona, where we get like 4 or 5 inches of rain annually, with some irrigation, I'm still able to improve the sand this much. I mean, just that little much, that's amazing to me. I mean, you can see it right there in the shovel. It's amazing. So, that's awesome. And if y'all are curious about it, I'm a big fan of cover crops. I say do it. It's slow and steady, but you know, after 3 years, this has started happening. And you've seen my other one, and that's the first 2 years I actually did compost, and then the past 3 years I did all cover crops, and it's amazing. Even when I just did do winter rye by itself, you know, the organic matter in that fill, in that little plot, was at 7.6, I think it was. I mean, that's ridiculously high for being in this area. And that's the year my corn were like 7-8 feet tall, man. You know, 4 ears on one stalk. It was crazy. That was my best year yet. So I'm just excited to see what the results are gonna be this year. But anyway, you know, it got peanuts in there, so that's a legume. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of nitrogen got back into the soil over there. Next year, this one is just going to be strictly cover crops. This year it was squash, but squash bugs that's the main reason I started cover crops, to attract beneficial insects. Actually, my primary reason was to break up the compacted soil. So, as you know, Dave Brandt, Ray Archuleta, and Gabe Brown would tell you, you know, if the seed company or the cover crop company ain't asking you what your priorities are for using cover crops, you gotta hang up the phone or get off their website, whatever. I use green cover seeds, and that's the first questions they ask you. What are your primary reasons for using cover crops? And mine was break up the compaction of the soil, because once this dries out, it is like concrete, man. It's just hard as rock. You'll probably break about half an inch with a shovel. After that, it's hard as cement, concrete. Number 2, attract beneficial insects, because as I mentioned earlier, squash bugs, they destroy all my, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that entire row. They take out my squash every year. So number 2 is beneficial insects. Number 3, organic matter. Those are my 3, primary reasons for starting to use cover crops. And I'm seeing the results right now. It's amazing. But you can take my word for it. You don't have to. It's just one dude experimenting, having fun in the garden. Even though most times it's like, why does it take so long? But still, when you see stuff like this, it's fucking amazing, man. I mean, it blows your mind. That's all I can say with this little sample shovel full of soil that I took out. I mean, it's coming from dirt to soil. It's crazy. So with that's all I got again. Until next time, peace. Where are you? There you are. Peace out, dudes. Have fun. Enjoy life. Smile.